Welcome, everybody, to Branding on Blast. I'm Tamara Darress, owner of Dream Fuel Marketing and a brand storyteller. I am here today with my special guest, Brandy Buckner, who is the owner of the Sweet Desires franchises, soon to be. And she's dressed in her signature color, which is purple. I love it.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking. And you?
Wonderful. Are you ready to talk about branding?
I am.
It's funny because Brandy's name has brand in it. So I feel like this is like a good connection here and a good segue. You're ready. You're ready to talk about branding.
Okay, let's do it.
Brandy's going to talk about branding. All right. So today we're actually going to be talking about the art of indulgence. And you see why I wanted you to be the guest here. If you haven't been to the Sweet Desires restaurants and cafe that Brandy has created, you need to go. And then you'll understand why she's our special guest today. Because we're going to be talking about building brands that feel like an experience. And she has done just that. So when you walk into a place that feels magical, do you think that it is perchance magical? Or do you think that it's a curated, created experience? Like when you walk into a magical place, do you feel like it just poof, someone waved their magic wand?
No, I think that it takes time and effort to create that experience for each guest.
So now with your brand, how did you even come up with that concept? Like what is it that made you feel like your brand had to feel like the Sweet Desires? I feel like it's you though. So your brand is a reflection of you. I mean, look at this. So if you go to Sweet Desires, this is how you're going to feel. You're going to look glamorous. You're going to feel special. It's going to be a VIP. So this woman is very VIP. So she's already taken. But if you were to court her, it needs to be very VIP and luxury. So I would say it's kind of like from you. Would you say?
Well, I wanted the brands to represent myself. I wanted people to be able to walk into the spaces, and if I'm there or not there, they still felt like I was in the space.
Mm-hmm.
Like it reminded them of me. It represented me. It represented everything that they know about me as far as being a little over the top at times.
Which is good.
It is good. My staff will say different, but it is good. And so a lot of that was just built on wanting to bring something to the community that was different, that allowed you to have a night out on the town and still be dressed up very fabulously and come into the lounge or even the coffee shop and feel like you're not out of place.
Yep. Exactly. And that's how you feel when you go there too. And let's see, I think we have some images up on the screen here of Sweet Desires. So we actually partnered with Brandy when she was getting ready to open the lounge, and we helped her curate the look of her brand, which then was translated into the feel of the brand when you walked in. So from the website that we built to the graphics, the social media, to the pastries and the food she created, the cocktails, the design of the place, everything feels like what you see, right?
Correct.
And a lot of people will say that. They're like, oh, the website, oh, when I walk in, well, Brandy's on go check it out, sweetdesiresdessertlounge.com. And when you go to it, you'll see Brandy dressed amazing. She's fabulous with pastries and cakes and desserts. And then when you walk into the lounge, you get that same feeling.
Correct.
And that's branding. If you want to create an emotional connection to people. And so look at these desserts, look at the colors. She's very consistent in how she does her branding. And when we work with her, we translate that with our graphics and our design work too. So we love Sweet Desires.
Thank you.
So we're going to go to our first segment of the show. So that was kind of like our intro. And what we like to talk about are hot tips in branding, mishaps. So we really kind of talk about other brands too, so that we can kind of learn from other people and see how we can improve our own branding and our marketing. So we're going to talk about our hot tips for building a powerful brand. Now, when you have a brand that makes people feel like it's a treat, that's when they're going to keep coming back for more, right? And your brand definitely does that. So there's other brands out there that have done the similar things. Like, for example, Godiva. Do you love Godiva chocolate?
I love Godiva.
Okay. So when you think of Godiva chocolates, like, what is that experience to you? Like, when you think of Godiva?
I think of luxury.
Yes.
I think of something sultry and sexy. When I think of that, I think of when I see that commercial or I see that branding, I see it as just a luxury treat,
Yeah, special
not
treat.
something like grabbing a Snickers bar, but
Right.
it's something where you take your time and really enjoy it.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I feel like you could put on like a feather robe and your diamonds, and then that's when you want to open a box of Godiva chocolates. And I'm not adverse to doing that because we're doing that next week, right?
We are.
That's how we do our happy hours. We're like, we need to unwind and have a luxury hour with Godiva Sweet Desires and some wine. Yeah. And you're correct. And that's how Godiva branded their brand is they created a luxury product, and the way they marketed it was more about luxury and the pleasure of it. Not so much even about the chocolate, but it was the feeling that you get when you open that box. Because if you look at some of their commercials, it may just be like a flow of chocolate, which really doesn't even show the chocolate pieces that they make, but it's a flow of chocolate, and then like a woman like touching her throat or like her earrings and her diamonds and wistfully looking away, and then she bites like a piece of chocolate. So that, just like you said, it's about creating that treat, that luxury, the desire for something. So when a brand can identify and translate that through their marketing, this is how you have a connection with your audience that transcends years and decades and helps you build your legacy and your brand. What about Starbucks? So Starbucks, their branding was through their senses. They engage your senses. So if you look at some of the Starbucks commercials on their website, there's a sound that we all hear when we think of Starbucks, and it's the sound of the espresso machine. So it's always them making their coffee. They use the sound effects of making coffee. Pay attention now, everybody. Okay. So this is where when you start to like pick out these things and you look for them, then you can make your brand stronger by kind of using some of the same strategies and techniques that other companies do. So Starbucks uses that espresso machine hissing sound, and that's how they use that to make you smell coffee. I mean, if you just imagine right now, the sound of an espresso machine. Do you smell anything? I smell coffee brewing. Yes. Right? So it's engaging your senses. So Godiva is about the luxury, the desire, Starbucks is about that scent and the smell. And even so one of my favorite places in Paris to go to, and it's in a lot of European cities, and New York too. It's the Ladurée Parisian macaroon store. Have you been to that?
I have been there.
It's like this pale green pastel colors, like the French decor. And then you walk inside and all the beautiful macaroons are all like, they're the pastel, and then they're boxes. So we have an image of the boxes from Ladurée with the macaroons. Look at the packaging. So this packaging is consistent at every single location. And this is very important about branding as well, is if you are franchising or you have a business in more than one location, make sure that whatever your customer gets is going to be exactly the same in another location, and that builds brand trust and brand loyalty. So it's all about the little details here. Their boxes, their packaging. I mean, look at this. It was always the ribbon. The boxes they did like pink and a light green and a light blue, and then all the colors in there. I actually save my Ladurée macaroon boxes because they're just so pretty, and that's where I put like all of my little jewelry, my secret stash of stuff in there. But it's very, very important. And so what can you do for your brands? Like even for your own location, like the cafe. We were even talking today about some things that we could do that's similar to the macaroons. And that's like doing tissue paper with your logos on it and wrapping products, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What's your favorite flavor of the macaroons?
Oh, the coconut.
Oh, yes. I love the coconut. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Yeah. All right. So now I do like this part of our show. It's called branding missteps to avoid. So this is where we're looking at other brands and the mistakes that they have made. We can learn from them and even apply some of the strategies that might have worked or not to our own businesses. And so we're going to talk about Godiva again. So I know there's an image. I wanted to put that up on the screen. So did you know that Godiva actually opened their own cafe?
I did not.
And I wonder why you don't know anymore, because they closed. So if you look at the image here, this is one of the pictures of a Godiva cafe. So when you look at that,
Mhm.
what does it feel like to you?
Busy
Mm-hmm.
to me.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't represent what I think of when I think of Godiva. Luxury, enticing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
Yeah, they kind of took that whole VIP luxury
Mhm.
feeling away from their brand, and they made it very accessible to the public. It wasn't special. You could just go. A lot of these like ended up in, I think where I was in Chicago maybe, and it was in a pavilion like outside at a mall, and they had a Godiva cafe because I went to it, and it felt very much like an ice cream shop or even a Starbucks. They just made their brand not luxury anymore. So it didn't work well for them, so they closed them. And then they went back to just their original product and how they sold that. So, it's very important to be true
Mhm.
to your own brand and your brand experience, right? Cuz like, yeah, it might be a great idea to open something else,
Mhm.
but is it staying true to your brand, right?
Yes.
So that's kind of Godiva's fail. They learned though. If you can learn from something though, even if it's a fail, it's always good,
Right.
right? Like have you had any experiences with the cafe or the lounge where you're like, "Oh, that did not work," but you learned and you pivoted or you did something different?
Right. We've done test desserts
Mhm.
that when I present the dessert or I look at the presentation, it does not fit the space and the brand.
Mhm.
Even though it's a delicious item, it just didn't feel right there.
Right.
So, and in that case, I can take those items and I can take them over to the cafe. I can tell if it's more of an evening luxury dessert or if it's a morning cafe item served with coffee or a
Right.
cappuccino in the morning time. So,
So that's also flipping something that doesn't work in one space and
mhm.
moving it to another or, like remanufacturing it, right?
Yes.
Like remaking it in a new package
Mhm.
so that it would fit. And that's brilliant. Then you didn't lose the cost of the time to develop something
Mhm.
or the staff and you can still make money off of an idea. So good idea.
Yeah.
I like that. So repurpose things. That's very, very important. All right, so let's look at our next one. Oh, and also, so one of our other episodes we talked about Cracker Barrel. So Cracker Barrel's big fiasco with their rebranding. So, and in that episode, watch it because it's really fun and it talks about Cracker Barrel and all the pros and cons of what they did and why the flop happened. But even, I'm just touching on this as well, is because they didn't stay true to their brand. They went the opposite way. They lost all of their history and all of their emotional connection that people had
Mhm.
when they walked in the door, when they sat at the tables, that it was like an uproar. Everyone, stocks dropped, everything, because
Mhm.
they didn't listen to their audience. So you can go extreme one way or the other. So just be careful to stay on brand. And having a brand kit is really important because it helps you to understand what your language is and what your voice is for your business. And if you're ever wondering, because we have this conversation, right? Like we text each other a lot. We're like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And I said, what do you think about this? And it's good to have a sounding board, someone that you can bounce things off of. And it's kind of like the brand kit.
Mhm.
Does this sound like a Sweet Desires
Mhm.
product or event or something new that we create,
Mhm.
right? And if it does, great. If it doesn't, no. But we know that because we have this discussion,
Correct.
right?
Mhm.
It's like a philosophy of your brand and your culture, right? So it's good to have these discussions. Stay on brand. Okay, so then we're gonna talk about our next segment, which is brand real success stories.
Mm.
And here you are. So we're talking about you again. So explain like the two different businesses that you have. So you have two in the Sweet Desires like planet
Yes.
orbit.
Right. So we have our morning location, which is Sweet Desires Espresso Bar, which is a more comfortable setting to come in and get your morning treats, your cappuccinos, lattes, crumb buns, croissants.
What's your favorite one? Like of all the desserts? Like this is the question to ask the dessert queen here.
Oh, the almond croissants.
I do love those. I get boxes of those when I go in.
And our creme brulee donuts. Those are my two top favorites.
Yes.
And then we have our nighttime location, which opens after 6 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday. It's a designed to start your mornings or
Yep. The cafe starts your mornings and you end your evenings.
yes.
Yeah. And you do it with the jazz club. Shake it out. We're gonna do a little shake here. I like to have fun right here. Yeah. Sometimes the jitters, I mean, I get in front of the camera all the time.
Oh.
But she is also on Dancing with Vero Stars.
Yes.
And she's going to be dancing on stage, and there's some special things happening that's totally on brand that you're going to have to watch. So we're getting her media ready. So whenever this is actually a technique that I use because I always get nervous as well anytime I'm on camera. So for any of you out there as well, like you have to be on camera for your social media a lot of times, or doing PR or like interviews. And a lot of times I just like shake it out. Just shake it out. Tell a joke. Flip your hair. Just kind of like blah blah blah. Do whatever you need to do to feel ridiculous, because then you can just loosen up, get the jitters out. So if you need to have a moment where you just kind of shake it out, just do it.
Okay.
We do that on here all the time. There's like no rules on our show. All right. So we were talking about like from the morning treat to the evening sweet. Ooh, maybe we should make that.
I like that.
Okay. Tiffany, write it down, whatever that was. Yes. And so but with those two brands that you have created, they both can stand on their own.
Yes.
And that's because you've created an experience at each location.
Correct.
Right? So like your daytime cafe, it's so cute. When you walk up, she put these beautiful purple flowers at the front. So already when you walk up, you feel like you're going to be treated to something special. And then you go in and there's floral walls, everything's purple. And then all of her desserts are just incredible because they're ones that you'll drive 2 hours for. And that was always the goal, right?
Yes.
Make something that people will drive forever to come and taste and see and experience. And then her lounge at night has a very different vibe. It's like golds and like dim lighting and sexy.
Sultry.
Yes, sultry. You can always find Brandy at the bar with a cocktail. And yes, welcoming guests in.
Yes.
And then our bartenders, they're always dressed all in black, and the experience is quite lovely. And they have a cocktail cruise too. So everything is about stepping it up, giving yourself a little treat, and you can do it, any day of the week. Wednesday through Saturday at the lounge, and then Monday through
Saturday
at the cafe. Yeah. So it's great. Have your branding. They're cohesive, but they're also standalone brands as well.
Yes.
And then, so another real success story is Haagen-Dazs. Well, actually, wait, we want to go back to the image of the Sweet Desires. That should be on the screen there. So if you look right here, this is what I was talking about. So the flowers on the front, I mean, it looks so beautiful.
So beautiful.
It is. And then the inside here. So that experience of that, of walking up, walking in, the desserts. I mean, you can hear it. Sometimes I sit there and I just listen to what people say when they come in, and they're like, oh my gosh, they pull out their phone. They want to, video everything. It's quite special. So that it's very nice what you did.
Thank you.
Now, another example of real success stories are Tiffany and Company. Why? I mean, when you think of Tiffany and Company, what are you thinking of? That little blue box.
Yes.
I've never received a little blue box.
Not yet.
And if anybody wants to ask me a little blue box. Yeah, but Tiffany and Company did a great job. I mean, I don't know that I really care about the jewelry or even can say, oh, is that a Tiffany piece of jewelry? Do you have Tiffany jewelry?
I don't have any Tiffany jewelry.
Oh, she also does not. Speak to the camera, Brandy.
Ellis Buckner. Tiffany.
Tiffany. Tiffany. Yeah. But it's not even about the jewelry itself. Like there isn't a special look to Tiffany. I mean, I'm sure there is, but it's more of like, oh, the Tiffany logo, the Tiffany blue box, the white ribbon. It's just, if you get a blue box, I mean, you're pretty special. Well, you're special anyways. Yes. So they did an amazing job with their branding, and even some of their branding is really just about opening the box. Right? So they've created an emotional connection, which is always what we focus on, is how do you create that connection with your customer so that you create like a visceral response to a brand or a product. And they've done a great job with that as well. So those are always like our positive yays for businesses. Now we have our next segment, which is our audience Q&A. So we have people that always like write in and they ask us questions, and then we like to answer them. So if any of you have any questions about branding or marketing, if you comment below on our YouTube, Facebook, our Apple, Spotify podcast, then we might showcase your question on our next show. Okay, so you're going to help me answer this question too. Okay, so it's not a pop quiz.
All right.
Is it? No. Shake it out, Brandy. Shake it out. Shake it out. See, she's been doing her dance lessons. You can tell. Okay, here's the question. How can a small business create a luxurious or indulgent feel without a huge budget? So just using some examples, and we even talked about stuff today about inexpensive ways to create like a very special feeling with a product,
right?
Or
I
a
think it would
business.
start from the moment they enter the door, being greeted, being the staff being focused, engaging with them, and just making sure that everything is edible with your eyes. Like you start the whole process.
Oh, I like that. Edible with your eyes. Yeah. Well, and you're speaking to the senses, the five senses in your body, and consider that as well. Like your eyes, you have your sight, your smell, your taste, your sound. So and your touch. So if you can incorporate as many of those senses in an experience, because isn't that the definition of an experience? It's how you feel when you do something, and those are your five senses.
Yes.
So I think one of the things you could do too is focus on micro details, right?
That's correct.
So some businesses, like if you go into a department store, there are actually, I think it's Hilton. Hilton has a smell when you walk in, and I think it's Hilton has it. There's one hotel chain, I'll get back to you on it, that has grates all around the hotel, and they have a signature scent that comes out through the grates. So wherever you go into any hotel, you smell this signature scent, and it just makes you feel special because of all the other things they do as well. So they focus on the scent as one of the ways to personalize things. Other thing too is music. I always talk about music with you, right? I always talk about it.
Yes.
And I had a shop myself, the Parisian Hostess, and that store was very French. And I had to play French music every time. And I think I had a couple days where the music wasn't on because something broke. And the customers would walk in, and you could see they were like, am I in the right place? Like, what? I don't feel the same way. And they're like, what? Why does it feel different in here? It's too quiet. Like, what is it? Oh, it's my French music is off. They're like, oh my gosh, I love it. So it's the auditory component, right? And it's feeling that. And we talk about that with the Sweet Desires Dessert Lounge.
Yes.
Right. So because you play
jazz.
So she's the hottest jazz club on the Treasure Coast.
Thank you.
And that makes you feel a certain way when you hear that music. So, using music, also visual cohesion, with your colors and your decor. And you can see that in all the design work she's done on the inside of her locations. So how can you, make a change in your business? Focus on those five senses and try to come up with little things. It doesn't have to cost a lot, and you can create that emotional connection with somebody. Okay, so leading into the next part, this is actually, shake it out.
Shake it out.
Shake it out. I love this part here because it's our brand blast off challenge. And this is where we give you a challenge, and we want you to come back and share with us what happened when you implemented some of these strategies and challenges into your day-to-day business. Okay. So actually, I want you to do that as well with your business. Okay. Maybe pick one of them. All right. So we're going to design your signature experience. So you already have a lot, but I still think we can pick something new and then work on that. So what I want you to do is you're going to be writing down 3 sensory details your audience should associate with your brand, your sight, sound, scent, or feeling. So when you look at your own brand, as we've been discussing, you feel a certain way and you want your audience to feel a certain way. So write those down, and then you can even ask your customers coming in, how do you feel? Can you give me like 5 descriptions of like how you feel when you come in, and then see if they align with your own. But we can also create that experience by just coming up with your own, right? So you're going to bring one of those to your space this week. Okay. And you're going to post it on social media.
Okay.
All right. And part of that point is a very inexpensive way to create a luxury experience or a emotional connection to your brand. All right. So 3 sensory details that you want your audience to feel, and then pick one of them to implement.
Got it.
You have something off the top of your head right now? You got to think about it?
No, I want them to feel welcomed. I want them to feel excited when they come into the space. So welcome is very important to me to as the very first feeling that I want them to have when they come into the space.
So one thing you could do, so just like talking about feeling excited, there's some social media trends that are out there. If you put a sign on the door that says, come in dancing, get a free cookie or something. But what if we did that for 1 week?
That sounds amazing.
And then someone has to film it, and be filmed. Film yourself coming into the cafe, dancing, and get a free cookie or something like that. So does that now address the point that you wanted to make?
Yes.
Right? Like excitement, that feeling.
Feelings, yeah.
So it doesn't have to be expensive at all. The cost of a cookie or a pat on the back or a drawing entry, or you could be entered into win a bottle of champagne. Ooh. That might be
night.
Yeah. So that's the brand challenge for this week. So I want you guys to try that, and please comment, share it, because I'd love to see what you guys come up with, and then we might pick that to be on one of our next shows as like promoting your business. That'd be good. All right. Well, Brandy, we're like at the end of your episode here already. All right. So whether you're trying to sell desserts, designs, or ideas, remember that being indulgent is about creating those emotional connections and experiences for people. So no matter what your brand is, try to create that connection, make people have a reaction to your business, good or bad. It's still a reaction.
Right.
That's part of branding. And remember all of our mishaps, our branding positives, and get back to us with what you're going to work on this week. That's it for our show. Thank you for joining me on Branding on Blast. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.